My poem is Auto-Wreck by Carl Shapiro. It's on page 401 in your literature book. Go ahead and get to that now, and I'll start reading. It's quick, soft silver bell beating, and down the dark one ruby flare, pulsing out red light like an artery. The ambulance at top speed floating down, past beacons and illuminating clocks. Wings in a heavy curve dips down and breaks speed, entering the crowd. The doors leap open, emptying light. Stretchers are laid out, the mangled lifted, and stowed into the little hospital. Then the bell, breaking the hush, tolls once, and the ambulance with its terrible cargo, rocking, slightly rocking, moves away. As the doors, an afterthought, are closed, we are deranged, walking among the cops, who sweep glass and are large and composed. One is still making notes under the light. One with a bucket douses ponds of blood into the street and gutter. One hangs lanterns on the wrecks that cling, empty husks of locusts to iron poles. Our throats were tight as tourniquets, our feet were bound with splints, but now, like convalescents, intimate and gauche, we speak through sickly smiles and warn with the stubborn saw of common sense, the grim joke and the banal resolution. The traffic moves around with care, but we remain, touching a wound that opens to our richest horror. Already old, the question, who shall die, becomes unspoken. Who is innocent? For death in war is done by hands. Suicide has cause and stillbirth logic. And cancer, simple as a flower, blooms. But this invites the occult mind, cancels our physics with a sneer, and spatters all we knew of denouncement across the expedient and wicked stones. That was Auto-Wreck by Carl Shapiro. Now here's a little author information on him. He was born in Baltimore on November 10th, 1913. He was ashamed of his Jewish heritage. He didn't think he had the same respect to his peers, and he wanted to. He was originally born with that K was a C, but he legally changed that. He was going to change his last name to make it sound more Germanic and less Jewish, I guess. But all he did was change the K. He was, okay, and he won the Pulitzer Prize for poetry. Now the poem, Auto-Wreck, it was published in 1941. The whole theme is really death and, you know, the car accident. Near the end, you know, everything else is normal. Death in war is done by hands. Suicide has cause, and stillbirth has logic. Cancer, just simple as a flower, blooms. But this, the car accident, cancels our physics with a sneer and spatters all we knew of denouncement, which means outcome or end, so I guess death. That's how I got it. And it just spatters it all across the expedient, which is the convenient, and wicked stones, just all over. It's just saying it doesn't make sense. It's just a very recent thing that happened. You know, all these other things have been happening for ages and ages. Oops. Been happening for ages and ages, but the Auto-Wreck is just more of a recent thing. Okay, poetry terms. Alliteration. Who can give me an example of alliteration? You. Yeah, there's alliteration in the first line. Soft silver and bell beating, down, dark, and other things like that. Yeah, that's good. Repetition. Alright, who has some repetition? You in the back. Yeah, there's repetition when it says, in the first line, soft silver bell beating, and when it says rocking, slightly rocking. Yeah. Good. Imagery. There's a lot of imagery. I think there's a lot of imagery. How about you right there? Yeah, there's imagery. You can really see it when he says, one with a bucket douses ponds of blood. You just really see that grim image. That's good. Now the hyperbole. Yeah, a real exaggeration. You? Hey, you. You. Huh? What? Hyperbole, yeah. Ponds of blood, yeah. Yeah. Alright, how about a simile? Who has a simile? Like your ass. Yeah? Yeah, simile. He said, red light, pushing out red light like an artery. Up in the third line. That's simile. Okay, sounds good. And now the metaphor. Comparison not with like your ass. How about you over there? You haven't been talking. Yeah, a good example of metaphor would be when they said the lights, the lanterns, where is that? One hangs lanterns on the wrecks that cling like empty husks of locusts to iron holes. Well, they don't say like, but that cling, comma, empty husk of locusts, because it's a metaphor, so they wouldn't use like. Of course. Yeah, I see that. Okay. That's it. Oh wait, I gotta read it again. Auto-Wreck by Carl Shapiro. Its quick, soft silver bell beating, and down the dark one ruby flare, pulsing out red like an artery. The ambulance at top speed floating down, past beacons and illuminating clocks. Wings in a heavy curve dips down and breaks speed, entering the crowd. The doors leap open, emptying light. Stretchers are laid out, the mangled lifted, and stowed into the little hospital. Then the bell, breaking the hush, tolls once. And the ambulance, with its terrible cargo, rocking, slightly rocking, moves away, as the doors, an afterthought, are closed. We are deranged, walking among the cops, whose sweet glass and are large and composed. One is still making notes under the light. One with a bucket douses ponds of blood into the sleek street and gutter. One hangs lanterns on the wrecks that cling, empty husks of locusts to iron poles. Our throats were tight as tourniquets, our feet were bound with splints, but now, like convalescents, intimate and gouge, we speak through sickly smiles and worn, with a stubborn saw of common sense, the grim joke and the banal resolution. The traffic moves around with care, but we remain, touching a wound that opens to our richest horror. Already old, the question, who shall die, becomes unspoken. Who is innocent? For death in war is done by hands. Suicide has cause, and stillbirth has logic. and cancer, simple as a flower, blooms. But this invites the occult mind, cancels our physics with a sneer, and spatters all we knew of denouncement across the expedient and wicked stones. Once again, that's Autorec by Kara Shapiro. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on the poem? No? Okay, well, let's go. Mino List. This is just another amazing PowerPoint and presentation and everything. And I'm gonna have to give you another 100. It's just so good. I couldn't give you any other grade. And thank you, because this has been amazing.